Hey guys, welcome to another video from the Parrot Bros. Now today I wanted to show you how I'm going to refurbish probably the most iconic TT wheel. Feel free to argue with me, maybe the QS one is, maybe this one is. But before we get stuck into it, let's jump into the intro. So we're down one of my garages because I have multiple TTs, I need somewhere to put them. And we are here with the wheels now. I'll show you the wheels. There we go, in all their glory. Now, some of you may know I picked these up if you've on my Instagram or whatever. Picked these up for a reasonable price, under 400 quid, which I thought 100 quid a wheel ain't bad. The tyres have got loads of tread, but they're Maxxis, and I don't know if the camera will pick this up or not, but they are horrifically out of shape. Like there's a step, and it is vile. They are unusable. On the car, they would sound absolutely crap. So what I'll do is we'll have to have a little shuffle around. I'll get you set up so you can see what we're doing. But basically, tools-wise, you're not actually going to need that much. You're going to need a ratchet of some description. You're going to need an M8 multi-spline, or a triple spline, triple square, whatever they call them, multi-spline to undo these, which are the titanium bolts which go into the aluminium wheels. Now these fit nice and snug. You can tell whether they're genuine or not. I won't be able to get it on camera probably because it's too small, but they actually have BBS stamped in the outside of them. So that's how you know if they're genuine or if they've been replaced or not. Because often they get bubbly, they've got curb marks, they may have been refurbished before. I'm not 100% sure whether these were anodized to start with or whether they were painted, polished, diamond cut, who knows. But all I know is they corrode and they look crap. Now I can't decide, or I'm not going to tell you, plus I can't decide the exact colour of what I'm going to get. I'll save that till after. So this is we'll do a full video start to finish, and I'll show you the best way of getting best value for money when refurbishing these, because I know for a fact most companies will charge you £600 to £800 because obviously you've got to pull all the bolts out, but I'm going to show you how easy that is and how to get the wheels split. The only other thing you're going to need is a piece of wood and a hammer, preferably rubber, because then if you hit yourself it won't hurt so much. Not speaking from experience much. But yeah, so very easy. All you need literally this little bit, and I'll show you why. And then you have to do a little prayer before undoing every one because, well, they're two different types of metal. So often the aluminium can oxidize, and I don't have to tell you what old bolts I like to undo. And then once you've cracked them all, if you're feeling brave, get the old gunny on them, give them a few duggers. You can gun them from the start, but I will not be held responsible for what happens, because obviously if that jumps out, it will make an absolute mess. So it's probably worth cracking them all first. What I'll do, we'll get one on the floor and then we'll show you how it works. Okay, so we'll start off, apologies you can't see my head, but it's the easiest way to get a nice angle. But basically, start off, I always try and start from the valve, because then you kind of know where you're coming back to. Make sure it's on a good flat surface, which this is not. Make sure it's in there nice and tight. And what I like to try and do is get it to about there, because then you can rest your arm on it, because you keep it nice and straight. Use this hand to hold it, get it nice and straight, and wait for the crack. Oh, that one was tight. What I normally do is, if they're really tight, I'll give them a few by hand until they sort of loosen up, because I don't really want to gun them out if they're still tight. Some will literally, once they crack, will just go and go loose. Some, not so much. So that one's not too bad. And you just repeat this process all the way around. Obviously, like I said, little prayer before each one. And then, oh, some are stiffer than others. You can usually tell which ones are going to be stiff because it will almost look round the bolt hole. It'll almost look like the paint's come loose, which means likelihood is water's been sat in there for quite some time. See, that one was nice and loose after it gave. But you always need to try and hold with your other hand. Try and hold it straight, because if you don't, you stand the risk of rounding it or breaking your bit or whatever. Plus, ideally, you want to get it first time. Like that one went really loose really quickly. And just repeat this process all the way around, and I shall come back to you and show you what the next step is. Okay, so now you've got all your bolts undone nicely. Now this won't automatically just fall out, unfortunately, as much as I would like it to. So what you want to do is get an old tyre, preferably smaller than the wheel. I mean, that tyre's a 15. And then you want to get a small piece of wood. This one is already broken because I've already beat a few apart. But what you want to be doing is just basically You can give it a couple of taps in the middle, it might come loose, the likelihood is it probably won't. But because it's wood, you can tap around it gently and it should just drop out. Let's give it a go. So not in the middle. There we go. She went. The only other thing I forgot to mention was to take the valve cap off, if it's got one. And there you go. Let's give you a close-up of that, what it looks like apart, and then we'll do the next step. Okay, so close-up, here we go. That's your barrel, which comes out. And obviously it's going to be where they'll probably, where we're going to be taking it, they'll give this a good acid dip and a clean down ready anyway. That's the barrel. Again, the same process. You see all this dirt here, which you'd never be able to clean because you won't be able to get to. That's where it's corroded. And you can see the bolt holes. I don't know if you can see very well, but some of the bolt holes look white inside, whereas some don't. And that's just where they've corroded, like I said. Now, what we'll do is we'll go and get our special key that we have. There's two types of key. There's the genuine one, which is this one. It says BBS on it, very snazzy. And that one, this is usually what comes with the car if you get these wheels as factory. It's not very good, it's a bit clanky, but it works. And that undoes it. And I've also got a special key, which if you have a 3D printer, you can print one yourself, which I shall just go and grab right now to show you. Okay, and then secondly, we have this beautiful thing here, which has the Parrot Bros printed in it, which was from one of you guys, Ludi. Big shout out to him. And if you want the file for this, if you've got your own printer, it'll be down in the description for you, free of charge from Ludi. So that's also plain and with the Parrot Bros on it. And all this does is this literally just clips around, and then you can just, in style, look at that. Beautiful. Out it comes. Now, let's strip this down. These are quite cool actually to take apart. So you make myself comfy. There's a few components involved with this. Now, the main thing that holds the ring on from coming off is a small, like a circlip. And you can, try and show you there, that metal ring just there. And usually you use a little flathead, or you can actually use your fingers usually, and just hook it round and it just pops off. Keep it somewhere safe, do not lose it. And then that will allow you to withdraw the ring. So this will get powder coated because it's metal. So we put that with our wheel. And we can also get this ring powder coated, this nut. You just need to remove the center cap out of the center, which is very simple. It has three tabs on it, which if you pull one, it will pop out. And then you're left with the plastic ring. Now this is a bit more fiddly, and you can do it with your thumbs most of the time. I've had a couple which wouldn't play ball, shall we say. But if you, like this one, it's going to show me off on camera. But basically, there's three of exactly the same clips, but they're facing inwards this time. And then you can usually, I did it with a screwdriver last time, it's a lot simpler. But you can just push them and they'll just pop out. So there's your three holes, and then it has these three plastic bits on, which just have a sort of a chamfered edge on the inside, just to clip over. So they just push in really simply, and that is it. So the wheel is actually four pieces. You've got the barrel, you've got the center, and then you have two pieces which are the center cap. So four pieces in total. And then what we're probably going to do is, what gives it the best look is obviously if the outer lip and the nut is the same colour, whether it be polished, diamond cut, painted, whatever. And then you've got, obviously you couldn't diamond cut that, but we'll go into it in a different story in a minute. And then you've got this, would match the centre, looks really great. So that is stripping down the wheels. I mean, realistically, that would take you maybe first time 45 minutes to an hour. It's not the worst job. Once you've got set up, you've got your bits on the stand, or you've got a nice sort of rhythm going. Like I said, tool-wise, you don't really need a lot. And then afterwards, depending on your powder coaters, I'll recommend someone, because I use them for everything. And they are called, you ready? Drum roll, please. Max Powder. What a cool name, eh? And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clean the bolts, because they won't take the bolts, you keep them. I mean, some of these will get worse one. See that? It's all covered in white. Cover my eyes so it'll focus in on it. It's all covered in white, whereas you've got some of the nicer ones which look like they came out perfectly and won't even need a clean. But I mean, all the heads have actually stayed perfectly fine because it's a really strong metal. It's just brought some of the crapper metal with it. So yeah, we're going to go to Max Powder. Now, price-wise, they are unmatched. I have not found anyone who will match them price-wise. They'll do loads of different colours. You can pick them whether you want all one colour, but they don't do, from memory, they don't do polishing and they don't do diamond cutting in-house. They can get it done, but they don't do it in-house. Powder coating, they'll powder coat anything. If they can put it in the oven, they'll powder coat it. And it will come out flawless. Absolutely perfect every time. Every set of wheels I've ever had powder coated, I've had done there. Anyone I've recommended has had stuff done there, has gone back there again. So, let's get them loaded up into the car and get down there. Hey guys, right, so I've got my wheels back from the powder coaters now. I was going to film picking them up, but it was hectic. I had to just kind of run in and get them gone, because it's quite busy down there. But I thought I'll show you whilst we're at the table. Now, the outer edge. Usually, I believe it's either painted, well, it could be painted. I thought it was either polished or anodized. I wouldn't have said diamond cut from factory, because it definitely had a coating over the top, so it may have just been like a shadow chrome. But I have gone for Wheel Star Silver on the outside, and on the inside, I've gone for a dark bronze. Now let me show you the centre. And of course I'm at my dining room table, so please excuse the mess, but my partner is fully supported in me doing this. She's actually just gone out, so I made her start quick. Hopefully I'll get it done before she gets back. Of course, but it won't matter if she does come back early. Of course. Now, that is the colour of my centre. It gives you a nice contrast. Now, the reason I got it done in this was because they said it would look good on red, and when we sort of offered it up, it gives a really nice contrast. Now, as you can see from there, these already look a little bit polished just because you have the contrast between the two. Now, yes, it's not diamond cut, it's not maybe what it should be as shiny, but it has a really nice shine, and the longevity of this, you don't have to worry about salt, you don't have to worry about anything like that. All I'm going to do is we'll get these all bolted up, get the centre caps made, and then I will be ceramic coating them before fitting. Now, that's a really simple process. It's about 20-25 quid for a ceramic coat. I'll put a link down in the description for the one I use. And it's just a case of cleaning the wheel first, just giving it a sort of a panel wipe, make sure there's no dust and whatever else on there, just so that the ceramic can adhere to it best. And then you just do a coat, wipe it off, and then if you want, you can do another coat. That's about as hard as it gets. Centre cap wise, really simple to put back together. You're doing it similarly, but in the reverse process. So you've got your plastic and your metal nut, which again has been painted the same as the outside to get that nice contrast. And these just push in, they'll click when it goes into the right place. There's one that was a little bit of a pain. There we go, there's the click. Then it goes through the metal centre plate, which is a bit tight. Whoa, really tight. There we go. So that pushes through there, you get a nice click, yep, lovely. And then that will spin freely. Then you get your circlip, which is there, and then you just put that on the back edge, hold it one side and then pull it round, and it should sit flush at the bottom, which it does. So then that allows that to spin on there without falling out. And then all you want to do after that is add your wheel centre, which just pushes in. Now you can buy different ones of these. They do ones that say BBS in black, gold, red. But I opted for the Audi one because I like the look of the sort of the stock look, because they are stock wheels. They do come on the car from factory, so that's nice. But you see what I mean about the contrast. You get that nice sort of silver, dark silver, and it looks polished, and the longevity for me is much better. I don't want to be out there polishing it every weekend. That is my last thing I want to do. I want to be driving it. Now, the only things I will say is where the bolt holes were on the silver part, I just had to spin a drill bit on them just to take the edge off. Where they'd put some rubber things in to stop the threads getting damaged, there was just a little bit of raised paint. You can use a Dremel or a bigger drill bit. I used a 10mm drill bit just wobble it in the hole and it takes the edge off, then just hoover the excess. You may need a pick tool, and this is because on the inside here they've obviously powder coated it, but they've rubbed grease on a thread so that the powder coating isn't actually stuck, and I'll show you now what I mean. So if I just run this around the inside, it brings off loads of paint where it's stuck to the grease but hasn't actually stuck to the wheel, and that'll allow you to get your centre cap threaded in there nice afterwards, because whilst there's paint on the edge it won't, but it's really easy to clean off. And then you just get your bolts which you've cleaned, just drop them all in all the holes. There's 15 a wheel on these, and all I've done is cleaned all the threads, cleaned all the tops. The bolts are strong anyway, made sure all the holes are alright. The wheel does sit a little proud on one edge because I think it's sort of, once you unbolt it and then you put a tyre on, it just kind of gives the wheel a little bit of a weird shape, and you just need to do it back up and pull it back in again. Usually what I do is start at the lowest point, do one, come fully across the other side, 180 degrees, do that one, then go 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and then you just keep going, zigzagging across. You're pulling it all down together, because otherwise, I don't know if there's any actual correct way of doing it, but usually that's how you do wheel nuts, just to get an even torque. Because if you start all this way, it could lift that side. It might be tighter this side than that side. But thought I was missing a bolt then. Had a little panic up. And then all you do is get your tool that we use to undo them, which is an M8 multi-spline. And what I said, I'll start. If you start at the valve cap, then you know where you are. Sometimes they're not quite lined up. There we go. Doesn't quite line up bang on straight first time, because there is a little bit of movement, because obviously there's no sort of guide or dowel, and all I've been doing is just sort of gently doing it, no pressure. I'm using one finger, and it just kind of pulls it down, which then lifts this side. So you come over to this side, 180 degrees, and do one. Again, no pressure, just your finger, one finger, and do it till it sort of puckers up, because we need to obviously torque it later, but we want to keep doing it even. So now we've done there, we'll go to this side, 90 degrees, do one again. The reason I'm holding it with this hand whilst doing it with my right hand is because I don't want it to slip off. I'm putting downward pressure on it as it's going. That's why my hand's going down the spacer, because all you don't want to do is for this to jump and then you scratch your lovely new wheel and then you'll cry because it took them 2 weeks to get these ones done. I'm only joking, they were really quick with these, quick turnaround. Price wise, Max Powder where I live is by far the cheapest. I mean, their wheel prices for a single piece wheel start at something like £60-ish for a 17 to 19, and that's acid dipped, powder prime, powder coat, and I've had loads done by them in the past. Very quick turnaround, very good service. I can't argue, so I always take all my bits there. These cost a bit more because obviously there's a bit more involved. They have to strip more. There's 4 bits to do because obviously there's outer, inner, and then another 2 pieces for the centre cap. So do be prepared to pay a bit more. But then these wheels refurbished, I mean, I've seen people saying they're 500 quid plus. So just to refurbish them. So I mean, some of them are a little bit tighter just because there's a bit of crap in the threads. I did give them a clean, so they shouldn't be too bad. And then, yeah, just work your way around till you're all done. And then I'll come back to you and I'll show you the centre cap with it all finished. And there you have it. There is the finished article. What do you think? I will throw a picture up of it on the car just to show you what it's like. Such a nice contrast. It's a little bit goldy. It is classed as dark bronze, but it is a little bit goldy, which with red looks, I think. Now, I actually, yeah, lucky dipped it. And they gave them a choice of 3 colours when they were to paint them, so I was as surprised as you are to see it now. But I absolutely love it. Bit of a tidy up, a few little bits of paint coming off where I've done the bolts up tight, but that is it done. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Feel free to hate it, I don't mind. I'm a big boy, I can take it. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. That is kind of DIYing on a budget-ish. You can, of course, do the painting yourself. If the centers are alright, you want to refurb the outside, you can polish them, you can paint them There's loads of ways of doing it, but I just wanted to show you that they're not that scary to split. And there's not that much involved really, tools-wise. Anyone can do it. You could do one at a time if you wanted. But they do look so good. I can't wait to get them on the car. I'm saying that now, but you'll have already seen what they look like because I'll have put a picture up. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Right, shit. Mrs. is coming. Let's get done. The perfect crime.